Good afternoon. I'm gonna give y'all a second. You know when you open a Blast or Activate and like the powder goes in your mouth? Just me, because that's awful. Like I said, I'm gonna give you guys a second to hop on. I wanted to do this training really quick before I have to leave to go to my lash appointment, so please don't look at my eyelashes. I also shaved my legs and got dressed for the first time in a week. Yeah. But send this in your chats, tag your team. I wanted to do a training today based off of a book that I read and something that I implement in my daily routine when it comes to sharing the products, how I share them, how I have people buy samples, how I have customers sign up, the whole 9 yards. So I want to first say that if you, hold on, I'm mixing this. If you have not read the book, Creating a Story Brand, I'm 99% sure that's the name of it, by Donald Miller, Building a Story Brand. Can somebody help me out? Is that the name of it? Building a Story Brand or Creating one? I think it's Building. Just go on Amazon and search Story Brand. And I think it's by Donald Miller. And I will say, I read this probably a year ago at this point. And it's one of those books that is geared more towards, let's say we did a startup company, right? Or we were selling, creating our own business. It's not really geared toward network marketing, but I think it's good for anybody to read when you have a product that you're marketing to somebody. And the book is really eye-opening when it comes to how you share your product, how you share the story of your product, basically your journey with it. And it talks about the importance of creating a storyline of, if you want people to be interested in your product, if you want them to purchase your product, if you want them asking you questions, you have to make them feel something, right? You have to make them experience something. You have to build them in to your story so that they then can see theirs. Are you following me? Does that make sense? But like I said, if you haven't read that book, I highly suggest that you do. I'm almost done with this, 1 second. It helped me a lot. It opened my eyes really just about how to share products, because I think it can get a little bit iffy. Oh, my hair is so dirty, but thank you. It gives us more of a perspective, because when we're in network marketing and we're using attraction marketing, right? I think that we can have the fear of even speaking about our products, right? We're afraid to come off salesy. We don't want to seem pushy. We don't want to seem like, we're just hopping on to get an enrollment. Then almost sometimes you can fall into a trap of literally not even talking about it, right? You can fall into a trap where the people that are watching you don't even know what your product is, or maybe they've seen it on your stories, but they don't know how it makes you feel, right? They don't know your story with it. They don't have that connection behind the product, which is what sparks interest. So in that book, like I said, he talks about how you have to build a storyline. You have to get on and story tell. And I say this all the time, and I don't mean story tell as in tell a lie. I mean, our job is literally to go on social media and tell stories, right? About our lives, about what we've been through, about what we're going through, what we're working towards, what this opportunity is doing for us, what the product has done for us, what it's doing for us on a day-to-day basis. It's all storytelling. That's literally, guys, this flash is gonna drive me crazy. That is the basis of our business, right? So if you haven't read that book, get that book. It's really important. But I want to kind of portray a message of how I've integrated it, and actually something that I need to get back into doing more of, which is why I did go live on my Facebook today and walk through my 3 steps and share that again, which I think is really important to do. Even if you only do it once a week or once every 2 weeks, I think it's really important to get on and share your routine and share what you're using and how you do the steps and just talk about your story. Because, as important as it is for people to know that it's a part of your routine, I show my 3-step on my story every single day, like most of us do. That's not enough, right? You can't just do a boomerang of your capsules and expect everybody to come running to you saying, hey, I want to sign up as a customer, or hey, tell me more about that. There's some people that are like that. Those are my favorite people in the world that will just message me and be like, hey, tell me more about that. But most people need more depth. They need a storyline. They need to know how you feel. They need something to connect them to you when you're sharing the product. And this is what's so important. So I had one of my newbies come in my inbox today, and this is what kind of prompted it. And she said, hey, I've made a sample post and I'm not really getting any interest. Should I word it differently? Should I do it on my story? Should I do this and that? And so I kind of walked her through how I share samples and when I talk about them and how I lead up to them, so that when I do post about them, people are in my inbox interested. And I do that by storytelling. So I normally only post about samples once a week. I'll hop on face-to-face. I used to do it in my old pantry. I'll probably do it in the kitchen now. And I will just share. I'll say, these are the 3 steps I take every morning. You guys see them on my story. It's done this, this, and this for me. I'm packing up samples right now. You get 9 full products. I personally give 2 of the Plus line products. Also, I normally pop in an Activate and a Blast, which is actually what I'm drinking now. I do. He's on his video game. I do mix them. But I throw that in. So I'll pop on, I'll talk about them. I'll say, hey, vote on this poll or send this emoji and I'll message you about samples and talk to you about them. I do that once a week. But what is important is not that I do that once a week. It's what I do the other 6 days of the week that leads up to me posting about that then brings people into my inbox. And I do that by storytelling. I do that by sharing more than just a boomerang of my capsules or my lifestyle mix. You got to get depth to it. Like I always say, you have to reach below surface level. You have to know your product story. You have to know those little moments of joy that you have with your products, those little wins that you have with your products, those times where you can't imagine not having them because of this moment or this situation or what it did for you that morning. You have to share those throughout the week. And it's not a, hey, I'm so happy I didn't have coffee today. Swipe up if you want to order right now. It's not that. It's sharing your experience with them. And I'll always bring this back to the beginning of what I shared on my profile when I first started. So obviously when I joined, the first product post I ever made was me talking about how I hadn't had coffee that day. You guys, if you've been around, you know this story. So I'm sorry it's repetitive, but it's really important for our new people to hear. I talked about how I hadn't had coffee. That was my product post. I said, holy crap, I haven't had coffee today. # you need this. And that was all I said. And why could I only say that? Because I'd been active on social media for 2 years before that. And people knew that coffee was who I was. Like coffee, it was part of me. Just like how you guys know that queso is a part of who I am. And I love it. There's those little things about us, right? That people know. People know I love queso. They know I love my dogs. They know these little quirks about me. My thing was coffee. So for me to then go on and say that, people are like, whoa, you drink 5 cups of coffee a day. What do you mean you're not having coffee? What are you using? What are you doing? So that was a storyline with me, because then the people that had shared in that love with coffee or knew that they drank way too much coffee or were sick and tired of drinking that much coffee connected to that storyline, right? That was the beginning of my storyline. And I remember another post I made later that week is I shared how I had always not been a morning person. I would be the person that would sit in bed. I would hit snooze 100 times. I did not want to get up. There was a reason why I worked from home. I hated alarms. I was not a morning person. And I shared on a post that day that I had woken up without an alarm, and it was 6:30 or something, and I was in our kitchen at our first house that we lived in. I had 2000s R&B blaring, and I was dancing in my pajamas cleaning the kitchen. Right? And that sounds so little and that sounds so silly, but that instilled a storyline in people, right? They thought about their morning, right? Or what, how they drug throughout, how they couldn't get up, how they hit their alarm. And you think oh my God, I wish I could wake up in the morning like that, right? It's instilling a storyline. And it's allowing people to go along with your journey. So when you think of those little things, those little quirks, those little times in your day when you're so thankful for these products, that's what you share. So it's not just, oh, I'm on this 3-step or I'm this and that. You have to take them along with your story, because as you develop, right, and as your time lengthens in this company, your story is going to change with the products. And people that have watched me since I joined know that, because I've always told my story. It was never, hey, this is my 3-step system. It does this 10 things. Who wants a sample, right? No, I took them along with how it was impacting my life and the way it made me feel, because that made them feel something, right? They were like, well, damn, I wish that I was up at 6:30 in the morning, listening to Usher, dancing, cleaning my kitchen and doing that stuff. But I drug, my eyes weren't even open until my 3rd cup of coffee. My kids, I wanted to kill them because they were screaming. You take them along on the story with you. So it developed from, okay, it kicked my coffee habit. That's really awesome. I felt the most energy I'd ever felt. I remember not needing a nap for the first time, as I literally napped every day. So I shared that. It's these parts of your story that you may not realize, but this product is impactful. And when you share it in that manner, people are going to cling on to that. So this is all part of the story brand, right? So it kicked my coffee habit. I remember, it kicking my naps, and it made me feel good, right? And that was it. It was just energy. I felt great. It was awesome. And that's what I stuck with for a long time. But after a while, people know that I don't drink coffee. They know that I'm coffee free. They know, that my products help with energy, all these different things. Your story has to evolve and you have to take them with you. So then my story turned into the fact that I was in a nutritional company, at the very top rank in a nutritional company, and I gained 25 pounds, right? Not because of the products, but because I wasn't taking my lifestyle seriously. I wasn't eating right. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't complementing them with a healthy lifestyle, right? And how many of us have been through that? How many people have started weight loss systems or gotten on certain products or done this and that, but you know that you're not doing the work behind it to produce results? That was then my story, right? Standing up and saying, hey, I believe in these products. I know that they can work, but I have to work for them too. So then my social media went on that story with me, right? Of me losing the weight, of me conquering my food addiction, of me stopping binge eating, of everything that then that story turned into. So it's been like a book this whole time of how the product's evolving for me. But the number one thing is sharing, right? You have to get below that surface level of, it's the 3-step system and this is what it does. No, how does it make you feel? How is it impacting you? What are the things that it's changing in your day-to-day life, right? For a lot of people when they joined, it was little things like the coffee, or for the first morning in a row, you're like, holy shit, I didn't snap on my kids today. You know what I mean? Like, it's those little moments that you share. You're like, wow, it's noon and I'm not yawning. Right? I actually got a good night's sleep. I wasn't dragging when I woke up. It's this story that you have to take people along with. So the way that I do that on my story is that I get face to face and I talk about them. And like I said, I'm holding myself accountable because I need to do more of this, because I always do like a mirror check. That's what I always tell you guys to call it, where I look in the mirror and I say, how do I need to evolve right now? And I need to evolve with my customers. I always get my free product credit. I, sign a good amount of customers every month, but I feel like I haven't been putting as much focus on it. So this month, that was something I wanted to grow in. So I was like, okay, where do I need to amp it back up, right? What was I doing that maybe I'm not doing anymore? And this was a part of it. It has to be more than just showing your 3-step in the morning. You need to get face to face, right? Whether it is, it's everything. It's writing posts, it's going live, it's going on your story, and your feed doesn't need to be flooded with it. But if you could pop on every other day on your story face to face and share something like that, share a snippet of what it's done for you, a story of what it's done for you, right? The way that it makes you feel, how it's helped you to get through certain situations, how it's changed your day-to-day life, right? If you can hop on face-to-face on your stories and share that, you're gonna make people feel something, right? And if you want somebody in your inbox, if you want them saying, hey, I'm interested, hey, I want more info, you have to make people feel something, right? And that's in a genuine and authentic way. It's not where I'm like, oh, how can I make them get in my inbox? No, I'm gonna share what's on my heart and what it's done for me, right? And how it's changing things and how it changes my day-to-day. And if you can take people along with that throughout the week, above just sharing your 3 steps in the morning with a boomerang or a picture, like I said, people are going to attach to your story. They're going to be along for your story. They're going to be hearing your story, and that's what gets them interested. So when I was talking to my newbie, like I said, she's, hey, I posted about the samples. I'm not really getting a response. Number one, do not ever place expectations on presenting something, okay? So just because you make a sample post doesn't mean you're a failure if somebody doesn't buy a sample. Just because you put up a post about the products and your story with them and somebody doesn't buy doesn't mean it wasn't an impactful post or that somebody's not reading it relating to it. So manage your expectations for that. Not every single time I post a sample thing, I'm gonna sell 10 samples. It just doesn't happen. But if you can consistently do that and you can share your story for a week, right? And be active for a week with the products. And then that 7th day, pop on and say, hey, I do have samples of these products, right? Y'all have heard my story. You see me take them every day. I know that some of you are watching or interested, but maybe don't want to commit to a full month yet. Swipe up and send me a heart and we can start you with a $25 sample so you can see how these products work for you, right? So they've been along with me for 6 days during the week. And the 7th, I pop on and I share that I have samples. So that's how I sell so many samples, because every week people are going along on this journey with me. They're on my storyline with it, right? It's a story brand. I think that's what the book is called, Building a Story Brand. And they're a part of your story. They're a part of your day-to-day life, and these products are too, so take them along with that, right? And that's why the sampling is so huge. And then I get questions where, okay, well, isn't it repetitive? If let's say you go on every Sunday and you say that you have samples, like they've heard you say that, right? It doesn't matter. I'm growing my network every single day. Every single day, I'm bringing somebody new on this product journey with me that maybe has no idea what the products are, or maybe their aunt's sister took them, but they never asked her questions, right? Or maybe they see my weight loss before and after, or maybe they just hear me talking one day that I haven't had coffee and they're like, wait, like what are you taking, right? What do you do? How'd you lose that weight? How'd you kick your coffee habit? How did you work on your food addiction and your relationship with food so that it's healthy? How did you get into an active lifestyle? How'd you have the energy to get up in the morning and work out today, right? They're along with your journey. When you show up and you share your story every single day, people come along for the ride, and that is what has them engaging with you. That is what has them interested in your inbox, because you're being open enough so that they feel like they know you, they feel like they're friends with you, and your story is resonating with them, right? And that's why it's so important to share so many different parts, right? That's why it's more important than just sharing just that 3-step in the morning. You have to touch people, right? You have to engage with people. They have to connect with something. And one person might, connect with the fact that I don't drink coffee, but what if I have somebody on my social media that's literally never touched coffee or soda in their whole life, and they don't know that, but maybe they're deficient in a vitamin and they don't know why they're so tired all the time, right? Or they don't know why they feel this certain way, or they, have that they don't have that mental clarity that we have. It's all these different things that add into it. So you have to share different parts to appeal to different people. And that's how that story brand is created, with all these different elements coming together. And it just starts with showing up, people knowing that it's a part of your daily routine, and then you popping on and sharing those little tidbits, those little stories, those little moments of what it's done for you. That's how you connect the two, from them just seeing a product to them actually getting in your inbox and saying, okay, I need info on that, right? I feel just how you used to feel. And relate it to the business side even, okay? Cotton mouth, I'm getting very into this. How many people do you sell samples to that enroll? Genuinely curious about the average on that follow-up. I don't have a number. I don't think I've ever really kept track to get a percentage. I would say probably like 1 out of 3. It's not everybody, and that's okay. I have some people I've sent samples to that I've never heard from, but I keep in contact, and I would say 1 out of 3, because that's like the order right away. Some people have to wait for payday, they wait for a sale, they wait for those certain things, but they're still in contact with me. We still have that relationship, but sampling is huge. And I'll have a lot of people that will, take the products and then not say anything to me, and then 2 months later come back and be like, I really should have ordered then. Like, I miss how I felt those 3 days. I felt so good. And I'll even have sample customers that will do their 3 days. I had a girl, this is the power of sampling. I had a girl that got a 3-day sample from me, and she took it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday she was going camping. And she ran out of her products, and she messaged me and she said, I need to know if you have anybody in this, it was a specific area in California, she said, that can bring me a 3-day sample to get me through this weekend for the camping trip, because I'm going to order right now, but I know my products aren't going to get to me until I come back, right? And because of the power of this team and how big it was, I was able to find a girl in her specific area that within half an hour had another 3-day sample pack dropped off on her doorstep for her to take on her trip, and then she signed up as a customer. Right? So you just have to get people's experiences, and not everybody's going to sign up. Not everybody's going to, enroll right away. That's not the point of it. Your job is just to get these products in people's hands, to get in those conversations, right? When you first started, how many customers versus promoters did you sign up per month? I don't have averages on that. I'm not really sure. Definitely in the beginning, I did have more promoters enroll and more sample customers, and then the customers came afterward, if that makes sense. Okay, so relate this to business really quick so I can wrap this up and kind of finish my thought here about creating a storyline, bringing people along. Every single person is different, right? People are motivated by different things. They are driven by different things. They're interested in different things, right? So there could be different parts of my story with the business that appeals to different people. So take me, for instance. I cannot read a comp plan. I can't read it. If somebody came to me and tried to pitch me on something and they were like, well, we have the best comp plan in the world and we have this percentage and this level and you're paid off this, and then I'd be like, you're not speaking English. I'm so sorry. I'm not interested, right? Because that's not my language. That's not what motivates me. That's not what, sparks. That's not my storyline. My storyline was my experience as to why I came into this business. I learned from talking to people that I truly do believe that out of any company network marketing, we have the best comp plan, and I will stand by that. I will shout that to the high heavens. but that doesn't mean I understand it, right? For me, my storyline, my language of this was my experience from the way that I used to market and the way that things in the company ran, right? With the events, with the auto ships, with the payments, with the way we were taught to market, all of that. So for me, my storyline was the differences with that. So me posting about the business opportunity, different things reach different people. When I post about the auto bonus, that might be highly motivating for somebody, right? That has a car that they're unhappy with. Maybe they don't have one. Maybe it's broken down. Maybe they just like luxury items, right? People are motivated by that. There may be another person that could give a crap less about the auto bonus, but here's about the VIP bonuses. And that's what is part of their storyline because they know what that money could do for them. Some people, it could literally just be the way that we are as a team together. They want friendships. They want empowerment. They want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. Some people aren't driven by money at all, right? So you have to share all these different parts of your story to appeal to your audience and create those storylines for each of them individually. Does that make sense? And it's the same thing with the product. Like I said, some people, they don't drink coffee, right? When I'm saying I'm not coffee free, they're like, woohoo, cool, never had a drop of coffee in my life. Great for you. But some people, that would be their saving grace because they're blowing their bank account at Starbucks. And just like me, I would drink 5 cups of coffee and I was still tired. And I was like, how is this scientifically possible that I can drink this much coffee and still be tired? So you have to share the different parts of your story, right? So that conversation with my newbie sparked this. And she was like, okay, well, should I word on my post about the samples, the trial packs, should I word something differently when I talk about the highlights of the products? And I said, I don't want you to talk about the highlights of the products. I want you to talk about your storyline. I want you to talk about, what your first day on the products felt like, right? What did you feel like your 3rd day, your 5th day? Like if you go to any locals for this company, which I know that we're not like a big team that does stuff like that, but they say that your day 1, your day 3, and day 10, right? How did you feel? How did it evolve? You have to bring people along on that story. And if you can start to do that, even like I said, commit 3 times a week to, daily, like I said, be in an IPA chat, make sure that you are posting your 3-step on your story every single day. But if you commit to 3 to 4 times a week, actually getting face-to-face on your story or on a live and sharing a part of your story, a part of your storyline, your story brand with these products, I promise more people will be in your inbox. More people will feel connected to you. More people will be more apt to reach out and say, hey, I do want info. Hey, how does that system work? How did you lose that weight? How did you kick that coffee habit? How do you have that mental clarity, right? How do you not have that midday crash? They're going to start reaching out to you, but you have to get below that surface level. So I hope that this was helpful. And realizing that that's really all it takes is having a simple emotional connection with somebody, and you do that by storytelling. Okay, so I challenge you, like I said, 3 to 4 times a week, get on your story, get on a live, get on a post, and instead of flashing the benefits of the product or the ingredients of the product, or hey, this is just my 3-step system, talk about how it made you feel, what it did for you, what it's impacting, those little stories throughout. Every single different person is going to connect with them. And like I said, if you're growing your audience every single day, new people are going to be in. That's how consistently every single week I have samples going out my door because my network is always growing. I always have new people in front of me to connect with. So I'm always sending new products out. So do that. I challenge you just to do that this week. Get out there and share more of the storyline, the story brand. And like I said, if you don't have that book, go on Amazon and order. He's at the window making fun of me. So I hope this was helpful. I really just want to pour this into you guys because I'm going to do a refresh of that book. It's really amazing. And this is something I'm challenging myself to get back into so that I can have more of a connection with people when it comes to the products and bringing in new customers. Because if you start with that connection, right? Because we're not cold messaging, we're not reaching out to them. When you tell your story and you bring them along and they come to you and they sign up, that is where it sticks, right? That's where they're returning customers. That is where you have that ongoing relationship and they're always going to come back to you. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that you guys have an amazing Friday. Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. Get it on Amazon. It's really, really helpful. Like I said, it's different than our normal books. It's not for network marketers. It's just for products when you sell a product in general, how to do that. But it's really, really good. So you guys have an incredible Friday and I will see you later.